if you've ever used AI and it just doesn't sound like you, maybe you've used ChatGPT or Bard or something like that, Gemini, and you're thinking, well, this just does not sound like me. Chantelle and Tom are fantastic at showing you how to create AI prompts that keep your unique voice. And so I'm really excited to introduce to you Chantelle and Tom.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We are delighted to be here talking to you about AI and specifically how AI can help you save around 2 hours every day without losing your unique voice. Should we do our introductions? Tell people who we are? It's a pretty good start. You go first, Tom.
Oh, thank you very much, Chantelle. Well, hello, everybody. My name's Tom Stanhope, and I've been in, the world of video for over 20-something years now. And I came into kind of the world of AI, first of all, as somebody who was perhaps a little bit nervous about what this new technology was going to do to my industry. My industry has been defined by technological change throughout its entire throughout its entire life, and this is no different. And we've always had to sort of keep one eye on what is happening with this technology. And I'm a techno optimist, I think, at heart, and so my feeling about this has always been that I need to understand it both for my own professional security, but also for the sort of for the clients I serve. As I got my head around this stuff more and more, as I found my way into this AI world, I realized that its great power was not necessarily specifically in content creation, but was in the time savings that it could give us as business owners and free us up to be more creative.
Yeah, and I think my story is pretty similar. You know, I'm a copywriter by trade, so copywriter and copy coach. And back in 2022, towards the end of 2022, when ChatGPT burst onto the scene, I was approaching AI very much from a position of seeing it as a massive threat to my industry. And I think both Tom and I have that in common, that we saw AI coming, and as video producers, copywriters in my case, saw that there was likely to be a seismic shift in how our industries operated. And so for me, it was all about digging in, learning as much as I could about what this technology allowed, what it would potentially bring about in terms of changes to the industry and how people were engaging with copy and content in their business. And what I realized quite quickly was that where my fear was initially that ChatGPT and other AI tools like this would allow people to kind of replace their creativity and use it for all their content and copy. What I found was that for me, for other copywriters, but also for business owners and creators, the real power is in collaboration, is in combining that human creativity and ingenuity and ability to think differently and have personality with the intelligence that AI can bring. And the example we talk about quite a lot when we talk about this is the kind of Russian chess champion Garry Kasparov, and when he played against Deep Blue, the chess computer, which was that in, I think it was 1997, Garry Kasparov was finally defeated by the AI. But the only thing that could defeat Deep Blue was Garry Kasparov working with Deep Blue. And that's very much the approach that Tom and I take to AI, is that by approaching it as a collaboration where we bring the human element ourselves and really use the AI for what it's intended for, which is intelligence, process, speed, breadth of information, then we can get the best out of these tools as small business owners. Tom and I started working on this project of AI survival skills together. I think it was around the start of 2023. We started talking about this. We put together a little mini mastermind where we got together every week and chatted about our businesses, and quite quickly realized that we both shared this really dorky passion for AI. And so in August of 2023, we decided to make it official and build this business out where we really prioritize putting AI tools into the hands of small business owners. And the part of the mission, I guess, behind this, part of the reason that we're a little bit different from other AI educators and trainers in this online space, is that we take quite a different approach. We're creators ourselves. So rather than looking at AI as something that we can just kind of abdicate responsibility to, we instead view it as something that we can use to enhance our creativity. And we get a lot of questions about the ethics of AI, as you might expect when we're working in this space. You know, as creators, there are a lot of artists, a lot of writers, a lot of copywriters, video producers, who are really worried, and rightly so, and understandably so, about the potential future impact of this technology. And so we do focus a lot in our training, in our mastermind, in our workshops on an ethical and sustainable way to use AI that hopefully is going to mean that we get to give it the jobs we don't want and keep hold of the jobs we do. So that kind of brings us on to two of the big questions that we get most often as AI educators. The first of which is, Tom, is AI going to take our jobs?
Well, the short answer is possibly yes, but we have a choice here. So there's a turn of phrase that you use that I really like. AI isn't coming for your jobs necessarily, but a person using AI is. Now, it's kind of, it gets to the heart of something there, because we are at a point in time not wildly dissimilar to the late 90s, when the dot-com boom was happening and there was a lot of rapid adoption of new technology. And you saw certain types of businesses really struggle with that new technology. And it was the adopters of this technology who were able to bring it into their existing operations in clever ways, or find entirely new ways to use it, who really, really thrived. And I think we have to be honest, there are going to be some jobs which will be taken by artificial intelligence. But the interesting thing is that with these technological opportunities comes greater efficiency, which means that we can get more done in less time, which makes businesses more profitable and more sustainable, but also new ways of doing things. So new jobs become sort of apparent with the technology. And so, yes, of course, there's risk, but as with any technological development, yes, there is risk in terms of what it does to economies and to workforces. But us as business owners, we have an opportunity at this point in time to build that partnership with this technology, or abdicate responsibility. And both Chantelle and I are absolutely all about finding ways to use the tools that are supporting your job, supporting your way of doing things, rather than completely replacing it. And this, for me, that's at the heart of this. So is it coming for your job? Kind of, if you let it.
Yeah. And the other question that we get really often, especially from people who are worried about the ethics of this stuff, is it cheating? So I wonder if that resonates with any of you at all. I know that when AI first came onto the scene, particularly things like ChatGPT, there was this real feeling of, this can't be allowed. Like, how can it be allowed that I am creating, work so much faster than I could possibly imagine doing by myself? And to this, I have a bit of a sassy answer, to be honest, because I think that for as long as I can remember, people have been saying to me that the key to success is to work smarter, not harder. And it seems to me like suddenly, just because of the evolution of this amazing technology that a lot of people are scared of and want to bury their head in the sand and avoid, suddenly that's twisted slightly. And those of us who are using tools that help us to work smarter and not harder are being criticized for cheating, or worse yet, criticizing ourselves for cheating. I think it's really important to remember that we can never remove the human element from from the way we're using AI completely. But provided that you're using it in an ethical way, provided that you are keeping your content edited and personal and making sure that your personality and brand are still in it, there is absolutely nothing wrong with using AI to speed up the rate at which you achieve the same thing. As I think, Tom, you said this a while back, which was that AI is enabling those of us with buzzy creative brains to work as fast as we think. And for me, that really is the crux of it. The other piece to this, when it comes to whether or not AI is cheating, is, and this actually came from a mastermind client of ours, which was that AI is leveling the playing field for people with neurodiversity or other needs. So if people are, have ADHD, like both Tom and I do, these tools are a way of enabling you to overcome executive function issues, overcome procrastination, get over fear of the blank page, brainstorm, get ideas down and out faster so that you can start putting them into action faster. So if you find yourself getting caught up in this idea that AI is cheating, please remember that there are so many advantages people have been taking in business, in creating, in whatever industry you're in for years and years. If you understand, can harness the power of AI and use it to best effect ethically, then it is a competitive advantage you should absolutely allow yourself to have. So on to the substance of today's talk. We're going to show you some of these tools in action and how hopefully they can help you save time in your day, as they have for Tom and I.
So these are not necessarily prescriptive ways. These are some ways you can use it. What we want you to do is to view these tools in a fresh light, view them as ways that you can build things into the systems and processes that you have in your business. If you see something in your business and your content creation process, or in fact, whatever you're doing, and you think that is a time sink, this is a repetitive task, then possibly there is a part of your business processes that could be AIified, and you could start releasing quite large quantities of time in your week.
Oh, it's me. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment. Okay, bye.
So Tom and I are going to split off and show you a couple of examples of how you can use AI in your business as a creator. And before we do, just a couple of quick tips on how to communicate with these tools. So when it comes to large language models, the thing to remember is that they are designed to interact with us in a conversational way. So make sure when you're talking to AI that you are talking to it like you would to a human. In general, we read like we hear, but we don't write like we speak. So the more you can lean into writing as you would speak to a real life human when you're giving these tools instructions, the better the results you will get.
Is the avatar creation section. So one of the really important parts of the whole getting the best out of large language models, generative AI systems like ChatGPT, is the ability to improve the quality of input. It's definitely a case of rubbish in, rubbish out. If you put good quality information into the system at the start, you will get better responses. And if part of this exercise is all about saving time, then what we don't want to be doing is kind of struggling every time we use these systems. Now we're looking at content creation. Obviously, this is focusing on creators, and planning content that is effective and useful for your target audience is kind of a, it's a really big deal. You can be pumping out content that doesn't connect with people, or you can spend some time getting really clear about your ideal customer avatar, so you can make sure that your audience, which is ideally made up of these ideal customers, potential ideal customers, is being served with information that they would find useful. But I think you probably, if you're like me, you know that the whole avatar creation process is a pretty, it's one of these things that I absolutely 100% know the value of, but always find myself, or certainly in the past found myself, not necessarily giving it the due reverence it perhaps deserved. But Chantelle and I have developed a process using ChatGPT that really speeds this process up and is able to create a really detailed client avatar that is driven by the vast quantity of data that these systems draw from. But the reason why you do this is because once you have this avatar PDF, this document, and in my case, so my avatar documents are often quite big. So I think the biggest one I've created is a very sort of super detailed 19-page document all about one specific ideal client avatar. And what you do is, when you're creating content, and Chantelle will come onto this in a minute, you would use this this ideal client avatar as guidance, as a guide document in your content planning process. So I'm going to quickly walk you through this process. I'll have a slurp of coffee. So let me just share my screen. What we have here is ChatGPT. Now this is the pro version. This is the paid version. It's like $20 a month. It's worth every single penny because you can do things like drag and drop. You can see this little paperclip here. You can drag and drop documents or connect documents to this kind of to this chat function. But what we're going to do is we are going to first of all put a prompt in. Now you'll have probably heard lots of chat about prompt engineering, and that's absolutely fine. So we're going to it's important, and I'm going to just put my prompt. So you will able to get your hands on a sort of a prompt recipe card. In our mastermind group, our masterminders have access to sort of regularly updated kind of recipe cards that will guide you through a process for creating a piece of content. So what we have here is the first prompt in this process, and the prompt is, let me just drag it, sort of copy and paste it, and I will read it through with you, and then I can show you the sort of the start of this process, because this is all about starting well. So let's put this in here. So this is for one part of my business. So with my video content creator hat on, I have clients who want us to document and create content capturing their retreats. So I want to create an ideal customer avatar for this person, for this notional person who would buy our services around retreat video content creation. So we start off with this phrase, act like a buyer psychology expert who specializes in ideal client avatar creation. I want help getting into the mind of my ideal client and understanding them. So first of all, you can see it's quite conversational, but also you can see I've used that phrase, act like. So this is a very useful tip for guiding your chat, your outputs in the right direction. So if you imagine sort of the data, the huge, vast, almost unimaginably huge database that ChatGPT is drawing from, it's really useful if you can sort of direct it to the right areas. So saying act like a biopsychology expert who ... gives it a very clear set of kind of criteria to look at when it's assessing a question. So that's a really just a general purpose tip. So act like a biopsychology expert who specializes in ideal client avatar creation. I want help getting into the mind of my ideal client and understanding them. I'm a video content creator producer. I help coaches, trainers, entrepreneurs, and course creators create powerful and effective video marketing content. My ideal client / audience member is a coach or entrepreneur running high-ticket business and lifestyle retreats. The client is likely to be running these events overseas or in luxurious settings. I'll be creating video content of the retreat, documentary style videos, testimonials, sizzle reels, etc., helping to add value to the retreat experience and giving the client useful promotional, sales, and marketing content for promoting and selling future retreats. Please create a detailed ideal client avatar for me with demographics, psychographics, desires, challenges, pain points, what transformations they're looking for, and anything else that will help me understand them better. So you'll see there are two things that we did here. I was very clear about who I am, who I'm serving, and who the person is. And I was also clear about the outputs I want from this process. So then I'm going to click go and see what happens. Now, I will say you need to be remembering that you are you know your audience. And if you look at what's coming out of this process, you will need to tweak it. You don't just take it kind of as whole cloth. you have to edit this. You have to change this up, and you have to make sure it's not being kind of, you're not using it sort of in an unthinking way. It is important that you grab the bits you like and edit the bits you don't. Or if you look at it and go, that's not right, then you might need to go back to the initial prompt and kind of adjust it accordingly. So it actually, this is looking just a sort of a quick look over. That looks pretty good, actually. That looks on the mark. Now, that's good. I mean, you could just go, actually, that's not bad. But I want more depth. I want more information. So I would, first of all, I would copy and paste that response and put it into a Word document or a Google Doc, whatever you use. This is going to form your basic sort of template to follow, because we're now going to go and deepen and expand. So I would use this prompt to guide the process. So please dig deeper into the values of this ideal client. Here's the values section again, and you'd go up to the values section and you'd kind of grab that and you'd put that in there, and then you press the go button. Yep, that's looking good. So as we look at the output, we would see that, you know, it's useful. So we're seeing the values of Jordan. It's given this avatar a name. I quite like the fact that it's kind of a gender neutral name. That's good, because both I'm serving, you know, lots of different people, and yeah, very happy with that output. So the idea is that you would go through the whole of that. So if we go up there, you know, we're going through that whole process, you doing that kind of putting that sort of deepen prompt in and working through, you know, we do interests next. So, you know, we'd grab, what you can is just do interests. So it's remembering what we're asking for from the previous prompt and is doing that. So we would then copy and paste those sections and paste them into the relevant section of our ICA document. And you'd work through that. Now, what I like to do is, once I've done that whole part of the output process, I would then take the document, I physically print it out. I will then take myself off somewhere else, and I will spend time sitting with a pen and paper and working my way through that process, through that document, checking what was good, what wasn't, what worked, what didn't, and adjusting it accordingly. After that editing part of the process, I will then have a very useful ideal client avatar, which can serve me in lots of different ways for my business. But specifically, we're talking about its value within the kind of the AI tool space. This is just going to be transformative, because whenever you want to create content that is relevant to your directly relevant to a particular person, you can just have this PDF of the final finished avatar. You will put it into your sort of chat bar, and you will use that as the guide. So, hope that's been useful. If you want to get your hands on, if you'd like to get your hands on the full AI survival skills recipe card, then please follow the link and you'll be able to download your free recipe card.
Now that Tom has showed you exactly how to create a really detailed ideal client avatar, I'm going to show you how to use the ideal client avatar to map out a content plan. So this could be your content for general use in your business, to promote engagement, to grow your audience, to sell products, services, to generate leads. Or it could be a content plan for a particular launch that's coming up. So whatever you're mapping out content for in your business, you can use this same process that I'm going to show you. So I would preface this by briefly saying that as a copywriter, I would not necessarily recommend using ChatGPT solely to write your content. I wouldn't suggest just outputting blogs, social media posts, emails, etc. from ChatGPT straight out live into your business. There is always an element of editing, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about that in a subsequent video. So just to preface that, but what this is really, really useful for is mapping out your content. So creating a content plan over a period of time. So it could be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever. I'm going to show you the process. Let me just share my screen here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, with ChatGPT 4, you can upload documents, as Tom has probably shown you in the first video. So I'm going to upload my ideal client avatar here. This ideal client avatar is for a course I run for copywriters who want to grow their business. It's a 6-month mentoring and course program. So this ideal client is someone between the ages of about 30 to 50, 55. It tends to be women. It tends to be people who are going back into work, who've started a freelance business after leaving some kind of corporate job to have a family. They might be freelancing a little bit already, but their focus is on how they can grow their business, grow their audience, and professionalize things in their business. So that's my ideal client avatar. So what I'm going to show you is a prompt that will help you map out your content. So in this instance, I'm going to talk about mapping out my general audience building and engagement content. So I'm going to say, act like a content creation expert and social media strategist. So when we give ChatGPT these personas, it doesn't need to be a particular job. It can just be something like, act like an expert in content creation that is directly aligned with business's ideal client. So we're going to start there. So that's the persona. Then I'm going to say, attached is my ideal client. I am a copywriting business coach, and I want to map out a content plan for the next, let's say, 4 weeks in my business. The content platforms I use are, and then I would list, so for example, 1 blog per week, 4 Facebook posts per week, 2 Instagram posts per week. And then I might say something like 1 weekly live, 1 weekly or daily stories on Instagram. So I'm going to say, please create a content plan suggesting themes, content ideas, etc. that will help me grow my audience, create engagement, and create meaningful, relevant content for my ideal client. And then we're going to hit go. So as you'll see, very similarly to the project that you just saw Tom demonstrate with you, it's going to go into detail about what it's doing here. So it's going to explain what it's doing, and then it is going to get started on a 4-week content plan for my business, that because we've used that really specific ideal client avatar is going to be incredibly relevant and specific to my ideal clients. So here you can see it's giving a blog concept idea. It's suggesting some Facebook posts, but it's keeping it quite general so I can still add my personality and my own voice to this. It's suggesting Instagram posts, lives, story ideas, And it's given themes for each of the weeks as well. So introduction, overcoming challenges, and so on and so on. So hopefully you can see how this process might help you with content planning. One of the biggest challenges that lots of business owners and content creators come up against is, what should I post about? But the brilliant thing about using this process is, of course, you want to run it through your own filter of what you know your audience is interested in. But this process is going to help you make sure that the content you're putting out there is not just relevant to your ideal client, but created specifically based on their objections, their challenges, their pain points, and the transformation that they are looking for. I'm going to show you a few tips now on how to make sure that we edit the output that ChatGPT creates for us so that we can make sure the content we put out into the world retains our unique brand voice. It's really, really important that it sounds like you, but most importantly, that it sounds like a human. There are a few buzzwords to watch out for, and I'll give you a quick demo of this in a second. But when you get ChatGPT to create content for you, to write on your behalf, there are a few things it will do. First of all, it will often be really overly formal and a little bit too rigid in the way it talks. So it won't sound like a human. There are also buzzwords like elevate, skyrocket. You might have seen some of these on people's social media posts who are using ChatGPT to generate all of their content. Skyrocket, elevate, accelerate, all of these kind of like power words that used to, before the era of AI, be incredibly powerful, punchy language that copywriters would have recommended you used in your content. It's almost gone the other way now because they have been so overused. Because ironically, ChatGPT and other language models have been trained to create copy that sounds like a copywriter would create, especially when asking it to act like a copywriter. So what we can do is use one really simple, slightly cheeky prompt that is my absolute favorite. So I am going to get ChatGPT to create a piece of content for me using the content plan that it came up with earlier. So I'm going to pause whilst it does that and show you the finished result. Okay, so ChatGPT has finished creating this caption. I used one of its suggestions, which was share a tip on overcoming the fear of starting something new. Here's what it's come up with. Taking the first step into something new can feel like standing at the edge of a vast, uncharted territory. It's natural to feel fear when facing the unknown, but remember, every expert once was a beginner. One tip to overcome this fear is to break down your goal into smaller, manageable tasks. Focus on taking one small step at a time, celebrate each little victory, and before you know it, you'll have crossed into new lands of opportunity and growth. Remember, the only way to achieve greatness is to start small. So what small step will you take today? #fearless journey, #start small, dream big. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit cliched. It doesn't really sound like me. It's using language like vast, uncharted territory and new lands of opportunity and growth that don't really sound like how we would talk on social media. So I'm going to share with you my neuro tip on how to make ChatGPT sound more like a human. And it's a little bit cheeky, but it works so well. I still don't really understand why it works this well, but be less wanky. Works a treat. I'll pause it and show you what it comes up with. Okay, so already we've got much better output. Starting something new, it can be scary, but here's a tip, break it down. Instead of focusing on the whole mountain, think about the first hill. Tackle one small task at a time. Each small win gets you close to your goal, and before you know it, you're doing the thing you were afraid to start. Remember, every big achievement starts with the decision to try. So what's your first small step going to be? So already we've off to a great start there. It has really refined this language and made it way more straightforward and way less wanky. I would go through this and make sure there's no language in here that I don't use. I would also go through and remove the really cliched hashtags that it's given you to start with and do some proper hashtag research. I would also break it up into different sections and format it so that it looks a little bit more like how people actually share social media posts. So I'll do a quick edit on this, pause it, and show you what I've got. Okay, so here's what I've said as my prompt. I've told it, here's my edit. Please take note and create posts more in this voice and in this formatting and style going forwards. And this is what I've created. Starting something new, it can be scary, but you've just got to break it down. Instead of focusing on the whole mountain, just think about the first hill. Tackle one small task at a time. Each small win will bring you closer to your goal. And before you know it, you're on top of the mountain. The thing is, love bug, every big achievement begins with the decision to try. So what's your first small step going to be? Hashtag your move, hashtag brave and bold, hashtag female entrepreneur. Break it down step by step. So I have given it a format that I like to use. I've given it language that is mine, like love bug. I call everyone that. And I've explained that I want to use emojis and be a little bit more fun and engaging with my content. So it has said, understood. Here's a post crafted in your preferred style and voice. And it's gone through and created a couple of posts for me as an example. Now, what I would say is this star is always used by ChatGPT, as is this emoji, as is this emoji. So you always want to make sure you're putting a human creative eye onto anything that it produces for you and what you're going to put out in the world. My advice would be to take the content plan you create, I showed you in the other video, and write your captions yourself. You could put the finished captions into ChatGPT and say, how could I improve this to more directly target my ideal client? And maybe take on board any suggestions it gives you. But when it comes right down to it, the content you put out in your business needs to have your voice in it. You certainly can train ChatGPT and other models to sound more like you, but let's make sure we're not abdicating responsibility for our brand voice to the AI tools.
The last section I want to just briefly touch on is potentially a huge time saver. If you are a podcast creator and you're creating video versions of your podcast, or you have a bank of live video sort of sitting on the YouTube channel unloved or just underutilized, then there's a lot of AI tools that can really help you ramp up your production of content. So short form content and AI seem to go together very well, and there's lots of tools out there on the market that will take your content and kind of repurpose it. So there's lots of different ways you can kind of you can take this raw footage and turn it into something a bit more kind of useful for the short form platforms, you know, TikTok or YouTube Shorts or kind of Reels, whatever. Like I say, there's a lot of choice out there. One that I've been using regularly is called Opus, and Opus does a really good job. We are at a point in time, I think, where we're seeing, in 2024, video and AI is going to be a huge kind of thing, and we're going to see these platforms develop and get into sort of arms races for quality and functionality and pricing and all these things. So I'm fairly platform agnostic, but Opus is one that I've been using, and I know it, I like it, and what I wanted to do was just kind of make you aware of this. And I'm just going to share my screen and show you very quickly what some of this can be. Now, you can upload content, or you can put a link in there, and it will then go off and spend some time processing your content. You've got some free trial minutes. I think you get an hour and a half of free trial minutes. So, I've set up a new account to show you the free trials. And the pro plan is something like, I think it's like $19 a month. So it's pretty affordable. But it's taken a 54-minute video and has broken it down into, we have, I think, 30 or so, 29 shorts. Now, not all of them are going to be perfect, but what you can see here is it has, as of next week, we are starting, we're doing an early morning live. So it's taken the video, the raw video from YouTube as a link, and it has divvied it up. It has so it's divided it up. It's put transcripts. It has given me that sort of, I guess, the Hormozy style video kind of thing where we're seeing the kind of the captions come up, and we can share it, or we can schedule it, or we can export it for editing in other editing platforms like sort of Premiere Pro. You can download it as an HD file, or more usefully, we can edit the clip. So you can, what you've got is actually a really interesting thing. So you can, because I've opened up a new account. Yeah. I know. It's fine. Really wants to show me all of the features, which is great, I guess. So you can generate auto-generated B-rolls. It will auto-generate emojis in there as well, which is quite fun. But also it's got let's just get into my, so you can see as of the captions. So you can see that you've got highlighted words. So you can click on a word, you can choose to highlight it, you can choose to change the details, you can really do a lot of modification. And God, I cannot begin to tell you how much of a boon these tools are, and the pace that these will the sort of the development and kind of quality over the course of this year is going to radically improve. It also gives you some like a hook and a bit of an assessment of kind of how good it is. So flow, engagement, trend, which is really cool. I think for my money, Opus is kind of a great system to use, because to take a clip and turn it into 30 shorts, that's like your content, your short form content done, your daily short form content done. Now, look, it would have taken me days possibly to edit that many clips and do the subtitles, get all of the kind of the changes done to the colors and add the emojis and all that kind of stuff. But this is where AI is really great, because it is giving us a way of working that is fast and effective. It's not perfect. We still have to be the human. We can't just kind of output this and sort of wang it out there. We need to still have control over our brands, our messaging, all those things. But this is great. So that's the last thing I'm going to share. And you'll see with all the things that we've shared, you've got significant time savings. And just this alone, I mean, this repurposing tool alone is worth its weight in gold. The ability to create in an hour 30 short clips out of content. If you plan your content, you've shot it, you've now got this. So what you can do is just shoot it all on your phone in one go. Just sit down and blast through the information, take it, chuck it in here, and do it that way. It doesn't have to be from a pre-recorded video. You can be using this as your editing tool. So you're using it as a way to really speed up the process, collapse time in a way that just simply was not possible 18 months ago. Hopefully you found something in those sections that's either sparked your interest or got you thinking about how you can be saving time in every day. Now, you'll be unsurprised to learn that we've got lots of different ways that you can deepen your understanding of AI, you can continue your journey, and there's a couple of things that may well be of great use to you. So we have our online workshop for £49. That is a real deep dive 3-hour session where we get into some of the real nitty-gritty of how to do this stuff, how to implement it.
And if you're ready to dive even deeper into this, and you know that your business could benefit from not just learning about AI, but really implementing and embedding AI into your process and systems, we do also run a monthly mastermind. AI Survival Skills Mastermind is a community. So we run it in a Facebook group. We get together twice a week to have a true mastermind session where everyone checks in on their plan. We find out where people are at with their implementation roadmap that we give them at the start. And then on Wednesdays, we have a shiny new exciting training where we show you what's going on in the world of AI, any new tools, systems, or strategies you might want to implement. Normally, the price of the mastermind is £250 a month or £2,500 for the year if you want to sign up annually. But for you guys, if you're interested in signing up, we have an offer for you. You can sign up for £150 a month or £1,500 for the year if you want to sign up annually. The purpose of the mastermind really is to bring together business owners, community creators, people who want to turn around in their own businesses and share the benefits of AI with their community, with their peers, with their clients. So it brings together a group of business owners who are all really looking to be ahead of the game and ahead of the curve on this stuff. So if that's you, if you run a community, if you run group programs, courses, if you work one-to-one with clients who you know could benefit from improving efficiencies, from having more time to actually do the creative stuff they enjoy in their business every day, then this mastermind is going to equip you not just with the tools to change your own business, but with the tools to change the businesses of those you work with too.
So if you've got any questions from today, please come and seek us out online. We've got our AI Survival Skills Facebook page. We've got our AI Survival Skills Instagram. Find us, ask us questions there. And if there's anything that's kind of, any follow-up questions you'd like answering, just hit us up there.
And that's it. The session is done. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course comment on the video. It really is appreciated to see all the engagement that we get alongside these videos. And of course, if you want to continue to watch these videos after the 48 hours of Creator Day, you can sign up for the Creator Meetup. The link is in the description, as well as the coupon code, and you can go and grab all of the replays and join us for our monthly networking and the other various activities that happen inside of the Creator Meetup. Thank you so much for the speakers, and we'll see you in the next session.